Mobius M. Mobius is a new character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. From the comics, there are already some things that we know about him, but just how much do you need to know before you meet him on screen? Welcome back, Nerd Squad. Today we'll be counting down the top 10 Agent Mobius facts you need to know and answering that question. Let's get counting. Number 10. No main continuity. Mobius M. Mobius is not actually a character from the main continuity of Earth 616. He more exists like the rest of the TVA within a realm separate from any realities. The Time Variance Authority is the monitor of all realities and timelines and therefore must exist outside of it. Likewise, Mobius M. Mobius is therefore also from this zone known as the Null Time Zone, which exists outside of any other realities and outside of time itself. Although they do, weirdly enough, kind of refer to time while they're there. They're like, you're 2 minutes early. It's like, wait, is there time or is there not time? What's happening? However, time really is supposed to move differently there, or more specifically, isn't supposed to move around at all. Number 9. First appearance. Mobius M. Mobius was created by Walt Simonson and made his first appearance in Fantastic Four issue 353 when he faced off with the FF, whose roster at the time also included Ms. Marvel. Hey! They had a slew of time-breaking crimes laid against them by the TVA that Mobius attempted to hold them accountable for, including saving their universe and setting it down a path of chaos when it was meant to be destroyed within 40 years' time. In this issue, the Fantastic Four managed to escape Mobius' custody and mainly cause him a lot of grief. And friends, before we move on to this next spot, if you are loving this list and you want more like it, you want to learn about more cool, obscure things from the MCU universe, be sure to show us that love by giving this video a thumbs up, commenting, subscribing, all the things! Number 8. Played by. In the series Loki, Mobius M. Mobius is a TVA agent played by Owen Wilson. I gotta say, I'm super excited for Owen Wilson in this role because I feel like he's just overall gonna crush it. While Owen Wilson is known for many quirky film roles, especially as he's a favorite of filmmaker Wes Anderson, he actually has a look that is quite different from the comic book version of his character. Mobius M. Mobius in the comics has more of a receding hairline than Wilson, and he also sports dark hair, but it seems that Marvel was more interested in having Owen Wilson bring his own look and attitude to the character. And honestly, I think this was a good choice. Mobius is a small character in the comics, which means that we should have more of a license to play around with this character's look and development in this other medium. Yay! I love new creative takes. Yay. Number 7. Middle management. If you were wondering what exactly Mobius M. Mobius' job is within the TVA, hey, we got you. He works as a manager, or more specifically a senior executive of middle management. However, Mobius had to climb the corporate ladder to get there. He started out working in junior management, but of course, it seems like he's pretty much always been working in the management area of the TVA since he started. Number 6. Almost fired. Mobius may have spent a long time working in management, but at one point he was actually almost demoted while working at the junior level. He was attempting to prosecute the Fantastic Four for a long list of time and continuity crimes when they escaped him, which put his current position within the TVA in jeopardy. Fortunately, in apprehending the Fantastic Four after their escape, he managed to not only avoid demotion, but with their roundabout kind of help, actually earned a promotion instead. From demotion to promotion. That's how we like it. Number 5. Paperwork. Despite being a bureaucratic agent and manager at the TVA, Mobius M. Mobius seems to not actually be a big fan of paperwork. When the Fantastic Four are first taken into the TVA and to their hearing, Mobius remarks that one of the accused is missing. Judge Peace communicates that the 6th supposed offender was unable to join them, as said person was severely degraded to non-functional status. Said person was actually Christophe Renard, who had faced off with the FF disguised as Dr. Doom and had been degraded by the TVA when he resisted arrest. Mobius' reaction to this news though is only relief, as he remarks, good, less paperwork. So apparently his prisoner's livelihood is not as important as scrimping on paperwork. To be noted. Number 4. Mark Grunwald. Mark Grunwald was a longtime writer and editor for Marvel Comics, who because of his seniority within and his knowledge of comics became the inspiration for the TVA manager Mobius M. Mobius. Grunwald was not the only person on staff to have a TVA agent, or agents, created in his image. Tom DeFalco's image would also be used as inspiration for TVA staff members as well. Mark Grunwald was a longtime writer on Captain America, but he would also be known for creating the official handbook of the Marvel Universe. Also, you should check out his Captain America run, it's pretty epic. As the creator of the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, it is very fitting that his image was used as an inspiration for Mobius M. Mobius, a man basically responsible for maintaining the continuity of all realities and timelines. I feel like if you know enough to write a handbook, you are a TVA staff member, whether or not you like it. It's just a thing that you are now part of. Number 3. Clones! I love clones. Mobius and Mobius wouldn't be the only ones who resemble Mark Grunwald. In fact, it is likely that Mobius himself is a clone of another TVA manager, as this is why so many of those who work at the Time Variance Authority look identical. Mark Grunwald then technically had multiple characters who resembled him, but Mobius and Mobius just ended up being one of the managers we got a name for and does appear in the Disney Plus Loki series, hence why we're focusing on him. Sadly, in the Loki series, Mobius doesn't quite resemble Mark Grunwald as closely as his comic book counterpart, but you know, I'm interested to see if there will be other clones working at the TVA who also look just like him, either like Owen Wilson's version, or maybe there will be some Mark Grunwald lookalikes running around at some point, which would also be pretty cool. Number 2, created by the Timekeepers. Loki is obviously not a huge fan of what's going down at the TVA in the series, as he'd much rather be free. He also does not seem to be a big fan of the Timekeepers who run the joint. In the series, it's the Timekeepers who actually created agents like Mobius and Mobius, probably similar to the comics, creating him as a clone, as we talked about in the last point. However, in the comics, the Timekeepers themselves were also created in turn by the Time Variance Authority's last known director of the previous multiversal reality before that reality was destroyed. That director was known as He Who Remains, or is known as, I don't think he's died. So it could be possible that the Timekeepers created the current agents, but were in turn created by a former director of the TVA from a previous multiverse. If that makes sense. Are you keeping up with me here? It's getting a little timey-wimey. Number 1. Promoted! This is what I think it's going to be all about. It's all about the promotion, baby! Get that promotion. Another element that will likely play into the Loki series, if it hasn't already when this video comes out, as I'm also kind of talking to you from outside of time currently, is that Mobius is looking to win that promotion. Bringing in Loki while also teaming up with the Trickster will likely also be a big part of his plan to earn that promotion. In the comics, we watch him climb the bureaucratic management ladder through his interactions with supers, so while the Fantastic Four likely won't be making an appearance in the Loki series, it's very likely that Loki could be a sort of stand-in for that whole plot involving them messing with time and Mobius attempting to hold them accountable. Loki's basically the Fantastic Four, sort of. That's what I'm saying here. So much time things. Time is confusing. Just keep that in mind. What are you most excited to see Mobius get up to? Are there any TVA Mobius moments that you hope to see incorporated into this Loki series? Let me know your thoughts, and if you have a favorite character that Owen Wilson has played prior to Mobius in his career, in the comments below. I personally really like the Darjeeling Limited. I don't know if anyone else is a fan of that movie, but that whole movie is great, including Owen Wilson. And speaking of comments, it's time to turn to some comments from one of our latest videos, Top 10 Supervillains Who Became Gods. Kingdom Come Superman responds, Savitar with his cult, and Apocalypse with his horsemen for sure stand out for this list, in my opinion. I can't agree with you more. I feel like, yeah, both of those are definitely gods, and Savitar especially, I was like, oh yeah, Savitar! I almost forgot about that one, to be honest, but I'm happy I remembered it for us all. Mr. Decency adds, Dr. Victor Von Doom with the powers of the Beyonders, and then he called himself God Emperor Doom. He did call himself God Emperor Doom, that is true, and I think other people also called him at least Emperor Doom, if not also God Emperor Doom, in that Battle World realm. Jesse Milan comments, Blackheart needs to be introduced in the MCU along with Mephisto. He does need to be introduced in the MCU along with Mephisto. Where is Mephisto? I'm sure he's coming though. I'm sure he's coming at some point, he'll show up, which I'm really hyped for, but I also love that other people in the comments are hyped for Blackheart. That makes me happy. And that's all the time we have for comments today. Be sure to comment below for a chance to have your thoughts and feels shouted out in a future video, because you know I love doing that when I have time. This has been Top 10 Nerd, and I am your host Amanda McKnight, reminding you to stay nerdy, YouTube.